Good day here. We have a under-hitch we are going to install on this brand new 4066 John Deere tractor. It does not have the loader mounts on it. We discovered we had a little change there, so we've adapted some brackets and made new for this. I have pre-assembled this before the video, and it'll come mostly assembled when it's shipped to you. We have our front mount, the main mount here. We have our kicker plate, and we have our channel. And then we have our drawbar hitch back here. So it's basically a 4 components and then just little pieces that get added on. To start with, I'll just show you how to do a pre-measurement for setting your length, because this is all adjustable. So I'm going to start on the tractor. I'm going to slide this tape underneath. And I put the tape in the center of the hole and I just vice grip it so it don't fall off. I just kind of center the end of the tape into the hole. It doesn't have to be crucial exact here. And I've already bolted our bumper mount on. And now with the previous 4066 series, we had to take the grill guard off, but on this one we do not. And then I just kind of eyeball the holes to where my tape is, you know, and I'm in the neighborhood of 122 inches. So the channel here we can move in 2-inch increments, and we also have 2-inch increments. We can move the front mount on the kicker or the U channel on the kicker. So with the small tractor, I have the front mount all the way back onto the kicker, and this piece will just slide. These nuts will get tightened up after we are installed on. So just get it here. Again, I'll hit the drawbar hole, and on this one I slid the drawbar forward to the most forward hole I could before I installed. We use a 3-point sprayer on the back of this, our KAGE sprayer system, and it was bothering the drawbar all the way back, so I had to slide it forward as far as I could to get clearance for the 3-point sprayer to work. I kind of take a straight path here, so I'm just measuring to the mounting holes here and just centering down and into the tape. And I'm at about 121.5 right now, but like I said, this here is just going to move, so we get our 1/2 inch real easy. If you're more than 2 inches off when this is centered, then you're going to want to move your channel a set of holes. For strength, we have these slide bars where you can have the channel in and kind of slide around, and then there's bolts in here that lock it permanently in place so nothing can slide. So we have these here and we can slide it a little bit. I mount them so they're at the ends of where I'm going to be. The farther these are apart, the more strength they will endure in. I have pre-plumbed this. Now the owner's manual will give you the hose kit, the numbers, where everything goes, how to run them through here. That's pretty self-explanatory in the pictures. I've got them running. This has a mid-mount for the loader mount hydraulics here, so they'll hook up here for our lift of the plow and the angle of the plow. And then we got 2 hoses running to the back of the plow, and that'll be for the hydro clamps for putting the box on and off. I'm gonna start the tractor up. I've got this sitting just on 4-inch blocks. That's low enough so the tractor can drive over it, and it's high enough so I can get a floor jack under it, and that should be all I need to lift this if it works right. So I'm going to drive up, get up close to this, then I'm going to raise up with the jack, and I'll have to drive ahead like another 1.5 inches. Just start raising up. Hitting something here that I don't know. What happened was this bracket, I'm going to have to move this back to this set of holes because we're hitting into the steering cylinder here. So I'm going to lower this back down. And I'm going to back the tractor back off, and I'm going to move that mount. I got to get it so high to get the bolts out from under it. I'm lining the two holes in here from the bumper mount to the main front mount. I'm right in these holes. So I'm using this top hole. I'm trying to have maximum height is always best. So, and it's always a little fudgy to get this bolt in. Okay, so I have the bolt in. I just spun the nut on by hand for now. I've got it driven, so I have a 2.5 inches sticking out on each side right now. And we'll tighten that up in a little bit. So I'm going to take the jack completely out here. I'm going to kind of do a visual on my clearance of everything, because like I was saying, we need the clearance for the steering here, which we already had off a little bit, and the axle has to be able to float. So we want to have about 3 inches each side, and our 3 inches is here by the hoses, so that's what we want. Now we're going to go to the back and do the drawbar hitch under the hole here. I gotta get under there a little bit and raise that up. And this will change the dimensions in the front, but there's nothing graphically off. So here, now the hole's a little off, but like I said, I got these bolts loose, so I can just move everything. Now in some cases, this has to have quite a bit of spacers. And this one, we're only going to do 1 spacer in between. So I'm going to keep a spacer for the bottom. I'm going to put the bolt in. Washer. Get that through. Washer on the bottom. And our nut. And we'll spin this up here in a little bit. After everything is bolted tight and our sway bars are on, we will then lock these nuts in here. We can spin them closer, and they lock to this center bar that's part of the channel. And that's probably the most difficult piece on this, is tightening them. They're 1.5 inch wrench, big wrench, and there's not a lot of room for turning, but we'll get back to that. We tighten the front mount bolt here. Now that don't get tightened all the way. It's a self-locking nut. We just run it in so there's about 1 inch of thread sticking out, and that can float in there a little. The back drawbar bolt is tightened in now. 1 spacer in between the drawbar mount and the drawbar itself. We will tighten up them 1.5 inches as the very last bolts to get tightened to lock that in. Now we're going to work on the sway bar bracket. So this sway bar bracket is going to have to fasten into here, this ear sticking out of the channel, and then come up into here. I'm trying to, so I hit this, so I'm going to have to go here, which isn't where I was hoping. I'm kind of learning this one at the same time you are. I just stick a bolt in and get started. These are metric bolts here. They would be normally a 24 millimeter wrench, but the 15/16 is virtually the same thing. The sway bar bracket, I'm gonna put the locking part of it in the bottom on this application. So I'm just gonna stick a bolt in here. And with these hoses here, it gets a little tougher to see. But, so this hymen, it actually goes into the bracket when it's tight. We're gonna run up and go to our bottom hole here. And I've had these on close in the previous setup, but I've changed some stuff here. So first I'm going to start off and tighten that back one. Okay, that's on. And now before I tighten this one, I am going to tighten this bracket on. I got to, there's loosen that a little bit. This is giving a little bind. I think I gotta go up a little. Get it over. I want to slide this so the holes are in as far as possible. And we're going to be really close to this bracket here. Get my sockets on. That's that. Switch back over to the 1/8". Yeah, so I mean there isn't many different sizes on here. You'll need a 3/4 inch wrench, 15/16, 1/8", 1.5", and then the 2 big bolts. So that's this side. And I just want to do it so it's kind of in a neutral spot. I want this rod pointing forward back. The lock will get run up. And I'll hammer that afterwards to lock it tight. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. The other side is a lot easier because you don't have these hydraulic lines messing with you. So I'm going to actually have to spring this line just a little bit to get it off of the mount. I know which hoses are which because I've already had them hooked up. So I marked them with colored zip ties and matched to the factory colors if I could. If they didn't match, I added zip ties back here, so it just makes everything easier when you hook and unhook. And then the same thing up here for the plow. Got the colored zip ties on, so when you disconnect, you can always connect and you're going to be right for your controls. So I'm going to bring these up inside the 3-point arms, and then they can be tied out of the way. And if these are not the way you want them, you just switch them around. So we have holes under here. So I'm just kind of guessing where I'm going to be able to use. There, that one went through. And this one. So I've tightened them 4 bolts up, and now I'm just going to lock these 4 nuts, 2 on this side, 2 on this side. So I took my channel locks because this is just way easier. They're shorter, and I spin the nuts in kind of tight with these, so then you're just doing the final tightening with the actual wrench. Because the wrench gets kind of big in here. And the one side has a lock washer, so I put the other nut tight to the ear and then tighten the locking side the rest of the way. On both sides, do one side and then do the other. And when you take this hitch off and go to put it back on, you might have to loosen these up a little bit to get the drawbar bolt back in. You'll be able to get it out, but I've noticed when I've put this on and off, sometimes you just got to loosen this a drop to give a little bit of slop and then lock it back down, and then it'll go right in. Yeah, much easier with them channel locks. It's the first time I've tried that. That was a good thing to do. And it's important to have these tight. Now the threaded rod is tight on these ears. That's pre-done before in assembly, because you don't want that to be turning at all anywhere, because this keeps all your forward back push for the plow, so all the pressure is against your drawbar. And that, folks, is kind of how all this assembly goes.